Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Napoleon. Today we're back with another Enlisted Gold Order weapon suggestions, and today we're going to be doing some British SMGs. And this week has been once again wonderful, considering the fact that once again last week Enlisted has really listened to some of these suggestions and added some really rare Gold Order weapons, such as the MKB-42W, which I've actually suggested in my MKB-42 video. So that's going to be interesting. But that said, let's get started with the British SMGs, but before we start, this video has been made possible for the friends at Discord, meaning that if you haven't liked, subscribed, or joined the Discord, I highly suggest that you do. But that said, let's get started. The first one that we have is Dyle machine carbine, and the Dyle machine carbine was developed in the 1930s by Dyle and Downing, in a firm of arms importers who supplied the British Army. It was submitted for testing in the Small Arms Committee, who were investigating international submachine gun designs, but was not recommended for service. The sole prototype currently surviving is at the National Firearms Center in Leeds. However, the magazine and the bolt handle have been since lost. The Dyle submachine gun, or machine carbine, was a blowback operated submachine gun that fired from an open bolt. Externally, it opened a pattern on the Thompson, which it gave much simplifier, and chamber for the lowered 032 ACP cartridge, and utilized a compactor over the muzzle, making it having little recoil. The barrel of the Dyle machine carbine was taken from the Ross rifle, cut down to the appropriate size, and the weapon was hand-built, which definitely said something about the weapon, considering the fact that it cannot be mass-produced. But that is the Dyle machine carbine. Let's go on to the Solely Model 2. The Solely Model 2 was designed in 1938. Built on the designs surrounding the history are currently unknown, and the weapon currently resides once again in the National Firearms Center in Leeds. The Solely Model 2 is a prototype submachine gun based on the Beretta 1830 and appears to have been converted from one. The weapon uses a detachable box magazine that feds from a skeletal piston grip, and the weapon charging handle is pull ring located on the rear of the retriever, and the M1918's forward folding bayonet is remained on the Model 2. The Model 2 also features a wide frame stock on an unusual design, having two folded claws meant to wrap around its user's shoulder, and the weapon has adjusted rear sight. After that, we have the Bar Rip machine carbine, and this was designed in 1930, submitted to the British Small Arms Committee for testing in August of 1939. It was deemed too light to sustain any sort of accurate fire, and was rejected with no recommendations for improvement. The Bar Whip was a simple blowback operated submachine gun. It had no sights or stock, and was designed to be fired with one hand. Yes, you heard me, one hand. It was featured in preferred barrel house and was a standard of many submachine gun designs of the time, and the magazine fed into the left side of the receiver. But that is the Bar Whip gun. Let's move on to the Norm gun. The Norm gun was designed and named after Eric Norman, a senior engineer at BSA. It was developed and then along with the Well gun at the request of the Special Operations Executive, or the SOE, but was ultimately never progressed past the early design prototype stages. Two prototypes still exist, located in the National Firearms Committee in Leeds, while the other resides at the Imperial War Museum. The Norman was a blowback operated submachine gun that fired from an open bolt. It utilized an unusual action in which the return spring was encased in a steel tube that was extracted by pulling back a mile sled that slid over the receiver. It had a spring-loaded firing pin that was controlled over a plugger in the front end of the bolt. When the weapon was cocked, the bolt could be kept open and exposed while risk fouling from dirt and mud. The barrel was partially jacketed by cooling fins and a forward grip of the passing barrel. The stock, comprised of the tubular piece, has slotted with a steel cylinder wheeled into the butt of the pistol grip, and the gun fed from a 32 round Sten magazines. So that's going to be interesting. After that, we have the Wellesley V42. The V42 was initially designed in 1942 by Joseph Wellesley, a former Brno engineer who fled the United Kingdom after the invasion of the Czechoslovakia by Germany in 1938. Wellesley sent blueprints to the design of the British Army Ordnance Bureau, who rejected the weapon on basis that the Lancaster submachine gun has been adopted and they are not looking for new designs. Nevertheless, Wellesley made a working prototype in 1941 known as the V41 and submitted it to the Ordnance Board in 1942. Trials took place at the Small Royal Arms Factory at Enfield in November, and it failed a butt test but otherwise functioned quite well. The overall view of the Ordnance Board was the V42 was a quality weapon that could be considered for further trials. Subsequently, the Royal Navy trialed the V42 on board the HMS Excellent, but their opinion was the recoil was too strong, the fire rate was too high, and the Navy then rejected the V42. In 1943, British Metals Company invested in the V42 and funded the project of further prototypes. The production rights were given to then VAP Holdings Ltd, and by June of that year, 6 prototypes were produced, 3 regular V42s and 3 V43s, a variant design for paratroopers. The V43 differed only in the fact that it had a folding stock, and in 1942, 4 of the prototypes had been sold to the Ordnance Board and took trials in Wales, Balcar, and Canada. Again, the prototypes performed well, but the design itself was too complicated and rejected in favor of the Passionate Machine Carbine and the BSA Machine Carbine. By that said, this is all it for the video, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the Discord, and I'll see you in the next one.
Now before you leave, I would like to thank you very much for watching this video. I would be honored if you could like and subscribe to the channel. Remember, more videos are coming out, so it is a good idea to click on that notification button. Anyways, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.